Evening, everyone. So today we start a new chapter, magnetism. Okay, and from this magnetism, some portion you already know. This is the first thing. Second thing is that some portion, the same type of thing, some portion they are almost same, like electrostatics. The only difference is that in electrostatic you use the constant 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, and here you use the constant mu naught by 4 pi. And the next part is that in electrostatic we use charge, here we use pole strength. Okay, the rest are exactly same. So today mainly we discuss the common part, okay, between the electrostatic and magnetostatic. Okay, and in the next class, means from Thursday, Friday and Saturday, in this this 3 day, within this 3 day, every day we discuss the next part, which is very important in terms of your board exam. Maybe some portions are removed from there and some portions uh, are removed from there, but it doesn't matter. We can look out that which portions are removed from your syllabus at the end, because you have so much time and it's better go through the all of this before exam. You then confirmly decide, because still now we don't know whether the next year in March exam have means there is a chance of board exam or not. Maybe it will be extended. So many factors related to that. So in that time, if the syllabus is 30% reduced syllabus, so we on that basis we can work out. Okay, so now first of all, electrostatics, and this one is magnetostatic. They are same thing, means in terms of they are same thing in terms of calculation and everything. We just start with a very basic thing that is called the pole strength. Okay, so if we consider a magnet, in this magnet you have a south pole and north pole. So the north pole we represent plus m, and the south pole we represent the minus m. That is the convention, that the plus m represent the south north pole and minus m represent the south pole, and this one is called the pole strength. The SI unit of pole strength is ampere meter. Strength depends on directly proportional to area. Area means cross sectional area. Area means cross sectional area. So it depends on cross sectional area. So this is the very important part. Next is, so from that, suppose you can, I think you understand, in a bar magnet, this is the area, this portion is the area. Okay, like if you have this one is a magnet, so this is the south pole, suppose this is the north pole, so these are the area, cross section area. So if you if you sectionize a magnet horizontally, and if you section it or slice it vertically, if you slice it horizontally and if you slice it vertically, what you realize, in horizontal section magnet pole strength become half, because the area is decreasing. Area is pole strength directly proportional to area. And in this one, if we cut it in that way, and if we cut it in that way, so the difference is that when we cut it in that way, the area will remain same. So here also plus m minus m, or you can write it, okay, plus m minus m. So what happened, its pole strength remains same. So this is the first thing about the magnet, and some basic things you already know, like permanent magnet, temporary magnet, earth magnet, that things you already know from class 10. Okay. Now the second important thing is that after this pole strength is the magnetic moment. Second important thing is magnetic moment. Magnetic moment. So in magnetic moment, it is represented by the term capital M. So if we have a magnet, this one is plus M, this one is minus M, and if this is the length 2L, so we can say magnetic moment, that is mass, pole strength into separation between the two pole. Pole strength and separation between the two pole. So from that data, we can say the SI unit is ampere meter into meter, that is ampere meter square. And yes, it is a vector quantity. So as it is a vector quantity, so direction flow from minus M means south pole to plus M means north pole, minus M to plus M. So if you realize, if you see this, you can realize it's exactly same as that of a electrostatic. We have dipole. This one is called electric dipole. This is called magnetic dipole or magnetic moment. This is called electric dipole moment, and this one is called magnetic moment. So here also we know the direction of electric dipole from which pole to which pole. For electric dipole, what is the direction of electric dipole moment? Anyone?
Negative to positive.
Negative to positive. So very good. And you can find out the SI unit also. This one is also negative to positive. This one is also negative to positive. So they are same. They are same. Achha, but in terms of numerical, examiner can give some little bit different type of numerical. Just I give you one example, then you understand. Suppose examiner given you a magnetic a bar magnet whose magnetic moment is m into 12. That means capital M. Now, if you cut the magnet, horizontally, if you cut the magnet vertically, and if you cut the magnet, if you bend it, and form a circle, semicircle. Suppose plus M minus M, the radius is R. Same magnet, you cut it horizontally, you cut it vertically from the middle, and in this one you bend it and make a semicircle. So in each case, find the magnetic moment for each. Like this one, if you want to find out the magnetic moment of each, if we represent it by M, so see, as we slice it horizontally, so cross-sectional area become half. So how, what about its magnetic moment? What about its pole strength? Remain same or half?
Half.
Half. Very good. And length is 2L. So what you have m into L, that is m by 2. Similarly for this one, plus m minus m plus m minus m. So now the pole strength is same, but for each the length become 2L become L. So what we can say, m into L, that is in terms of this one, m into 2L, that is m by 2. And in the third one, if you see m3, pole strength into radius, means the length is the shortest distance, means between the two pole, length is the shortest distance between the two pole. So we can write here 2r. So when we use 2r, that length 2L actual length, we make it a semicircle, and as we make it a semicircle, so we can write this 2L equals to pi r. Can we?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Moheshita. Oh, Moheshita. So what about R, Moheshita? घुमाए पढ़ली नाकि 2l/pi. So m into 2 r is 2l/pi. So what you have 2m into 2l/pi, that is 2/pi m. Is it clear up to this? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
The next important part is, which is very, very important. After that, the next important part is, if we want to compare between electrostatic and magnetostatic, you see both are static, means both are behave like static electricity, and magnetic electricity means one is magneto, one is electro. Okay, means one in presence of magnet, another one is in presence of charge, otherwise they are same. So if we consider two charge particle, or we know that Coulombic force, electrostatic and magnetostatic, they are almost same. 1/4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by r square. If we put two charge particle separated by distance r. Similarly, if we put two pole strength m1 and m2, now see there is a one difference, ki charge can be monopole. Are you getting my point? Charge can be monopole, but magnet never monopole. You understand what is the meaning of that? Do you understand what is the meaning
So
of
what
that?
is monopole?
मोनोपोल मतलब चार्ज सिर्फ Q हो सकता है, लेकिन मैग्नेट सिर्फ M नहीं हो सकता है. अगर उसका एक M है तो उसका एक -M भी होगा, लेकिन चार्ज का ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है. प्लस Q है तो -Q भी होगा कहीं पे. तो ये सिंगल है, सिंगल अकेला. चार्ज एटलीस्ट अकेला भी हो सकता है, लेकिन मैग्नेट कभी अकेला नहीं होगा. अगर उसका एक काउंटर पार्ट, एक अगर पार्ट प्लस है तो उसका एक पार्ट माइनस होगा ही होगा. So that's why it's never mono. Mono मतलब एक, single. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
और दो रहने से डाई, प्लस एंड माइनस तो डाइपोल. So magnet always in the form of dipole. मतलब दो पोल उसका हमेशा होगा, लेकिन मैग्नेट चार्ज में सिंगल पोल हो सकता है. और इसी कारण से देखो, ये हम हालांकि अभी इसके बारे में डिस्कस नहीं करेंगे, ये बाद में मैक्सवेल से एक इक्वेशन दिया था उसमें है, बट वी कैन कोरिलेट electrostatic flux, which you already know from Gauss's theorem. What is the value of electrostatic flux?
Charge inside by epsilon naught.
Only 1/epsilon naught Q enclosed, na? Huh?
Yes, sir.
And magnetic flux is always 0. Why? Because अगर तुम mu naught भी लिखते हो, प्लस m प्लस माइनस m ना, समझा?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So मैग्नेटिक जो फ्लक्स है एक मैग्नेट के लिए हमेशा 0 होगा. So ये भी प्रूफ करता है कि इट्स नेवर एग्जिस्ट इन ए मोनोपोल. ये एक हुआ. दूसरा देखो, अगर मेरे पास एक प्लस चार्ज है, एक माइनस चार्ज है, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड का डायरेक्शन क्या होता है? प्लस टू माइनस. हालांकि ये इलेक्ट्रिक लाइंस वगैरह ये सब अभी तुम लोगों का 10th में है, 12th में नहीं है. मैं फिर भी अगर मेरे को एक और क्लास या दो क्लास मिला तो मैं डिस्कस कर दूंगा. वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग दे आर. इट इज फ्रॉम प्लस टू माइनस, राइट? वी नो दिस वन, electrostatics.
Yes, sir.
But for magnet, if we consider a plus m and minus m, they are a little bit different. Why they are a little bit different? Inside the magnet minus to plus, outside the magnet plus to minus. So basically they form a circle. देखो, complete one a loop. Huh?
Yes, sir.
लेकिन इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स में लूप कंप्लीट नहीं होता है। तो ये भी प्रूफ करता है कि ये मोनोपोल एग्जिस्ट करता है, ये मोनोपोल एग्जिस्ट नहीं करता है। मतलब इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स में एक सिंगल चार्ज का होता है, मैग्नेट पे एक पोल का होता ही नहीं है। हम लोग दिखा देते हैं पर ये होता नहीं है एक्चुअली, ठीक है? इज इट क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
So these are the a little bit difference between them, but otherwise जैसे if we put two magnet, suppose यहाँ पे एक magnet put किया M1 और यहाँ पे एक magnet put किया M2, so this one is one magnet, different magnet, this one is another different magnet, so we can have two different pole, so we can put them in some particular distance. दो magnet को ऐसे करके लाते हैं ना, so in that case we can create the force, magnetic force, so that force is mu naught by 4 pi m1 m2 by r square. Now electric field, what is the formula? Anyone can tell me? What is the formula of electric field? Bolo. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q by r square.
R square.
And magnetic field is mu naught by 4 pi m by r square. So you realize they are almost same. Electric potential, yeah, potential energy. Electric potential energy. What is the formula?
1 by 4 pi epsilon Q1 Q2 by R.
Very good. Q1 Q2 by R. Similarly, magnetic potential, the formula is mu naught by 4 pi. So the only difference is this is electrostatic medium, this is magnetic medium. Electric potential, what is the formula? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q by R. Similarly, magnetic potential, the formula is mu naught by 4 pi m by R. So you realize they are same now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in terms of sum, in terms of means, basically when they are same, if you compare with respect to one pole, or if you compare between the two dipole, means two poles, they are almost same type of things. Yeah. So after that, now as we already know them, okay, so we try to write it in a little bit fast manner. Although these things are directly not in your syllabus, means they don't ask you to derive it, but they can ask you the formula, because in NCERT directly the formulas are given. But we can, if anyone say find the values, so we have that ability, we can solve it also. So we have a electric magnet dipole. This one is plus m, this is the minus m, this is the origin, and we know this one is the axial line and this is the equatorial line. So same way you can revise the electrostatic as well as magnet also. That's why I'm try to write it the same way, same thing. Then it will revise your electrostatic also at the same time. Okay, so r is the distance, r is the distance. You can do one more thing also. In your copy, electrostatic whole thing is there. You just change mu naught by 4 pi, and in place of charge you can write m. Rest is everything same. Okay, see, P is a point where we have to find out magnetic field. Now we know same way for electric field, plus charge away, minus charge toward. Similarly, plus pole magnetic field is away, minus pole magnetic field is towards. So this distance is r minus l and this distance is r plus l. So B plus is mu naught by 4 pi m by r minus l whole square, and B minus is mu naught by 4 pi m by r plus l whole square. Clearly, as r plus s l greater than r minus l, R plus L greater than R minus L. So you can say B plus, B minus is less than B plus. So B net, what we can write? B plus minus B minus, they are opposite, and as they are opposite, so we can take the common part mu naught by 4 pi. We can take M also common from here. What we have, R minus L whole square minus R plus L whole square, which means mu naught by 4 pi M R square minus L square whole square 4 RL, which is equals to mu naught by 4 pi M into 2L into 2R by R square minus L square whole square, that is mu naught by 4 pi M into 2R by R square minus L square whole square, that is magnetic field at axial position or at point P. Is it okay, everyone? Remember na?
Yes, sir.
Same way, just in electrostatic you are doing here 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. In place of M you write Q. Rest is exactly same. Here you have write M, in that one you write P. Now you can use this also. R is greater than L. We can neglect L square with respect to R square. The magnetic field at point axial position is M into 2R by R to the power 4, 1R cancel cube. So magnetic field at axial position mu naught by 4 pi 2M by R cube. And in terms of direction, see the direction of electromagnetic dipole negative to positive, and here the net magnetic field is on the same direction. So according to NCERT, what you write, Bx mu naught by 4 pi M 2M vector by R cube, which represent the direction of magnetic moment is the direction of magnetic field. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If it is okay, then we move on to equatorial. Means this one is the axial. Now then we can move on to equatorial. Equatorial. This is the origin. P is the point. Let that distance is R. That distance, this is plus. So B plus, and this one is B minus for the negative. This distance are R square plus L square. This distance is also R square plus L square. So now B plus mu naught by 4 pi M by R square plus L square, B minus mu naught by 4 pi M by R square plus L square. Same magnitude, opposite, same magnitude for both. So we can use this angle is theta, this angle is theta, this angle is theta, this angle is theta. Along the basis B plus cos theta, perpendicular with the basis B plus sine theta. For this one, B minus cos theta plus cos theta. This one is B minus sine theta. You remember this one? This is all thing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So now clearly from figure, B plus sine theta cancel B minus sine theta. So net magnetic field at point P is B plus cos theta plus B minus cos theta, which is mu naught by 4 pi m by r square plus L square into cos theta base upon hypotenuse L by r square plus L square 1 by 3 mu naught by 4 pi m by r square plus L square L by r square plus L square 1 by 2. So what you have, mu naught by 4 pi 2 ml by r square plus L square 3 by 2. That is your magnetic field at point P. Sorry, that is equals to mu naught by 4 pi m into r square plus L square 3 by 2. That is magnetic field at equatorial position. Now again we can use if r is greater than L, same kahani. So we can neglect L square as compared to r square. That L square we neglect. Now we have r square 3 by 2. 2 cancel. We have r to the power cube. So magnetic field at point P is mu naught by 4 pi m by r cube. And in terms of direction, if you realize, see, this is the magnetic field, negative to positive, and this one in the opposite direction. As this one in the opposite direction, so magnetic field at y-axis means equatorial line, that is minus mu naught by 4 pi m by r cube with the vector sign. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So after this equatorial, next is so after that, the next one is magnetic field at any position due to magnetic dipole. So we have a dipole. This is the minus m pole strength. This one is the plus m pole strength. This is the axial position. P is the point. This angle is theta. M. So along the base we can say m cos theta, and perpendicular with the base we say m sin theta. Along the base we say m cos theta, and perpendicular with the base we say m sin theta. So now along the base means m cos theta. For this line, this one is what? Axial position, na?
Yes, sir.
And for this one, see, this is the equatorial, so in the opposite direction of electric dipole. So dy in the opposite direction. Now the combination of these two is the resultant of these two. So on that basis, what you can say, this is the resultant magnetic field. And if you want to find out the angle, this angle is phi. Same way electrostatics. So now the magnetic field at axial position, mu naught by 4 pi 2m, but here you have, with this m you have cos theta, because this m divided in two parts. One is along the base, one is perpendicular with the base. 2m cos theta by r cube, and by is mu naught by 4 pi m sin theta by r cube. So b is the bx plus by. So b is root under b of x square, b of y square. So which is equals to mu naught by 4 pi m by r cube 2 cos theta whole square plus sine square theta, that is mu naught by 4 pi m by r cube 3 cos square theta plus 1. That is the magnetic field magnitude. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
So now, if it is okay, so what about the phi, tan phi? Tan phi is perpendicular by base. So we can write by bx. Now see, if you put by, these all are cancelled with bx. Only here you have sine theta, here you have 2 cos theta. So basically you have half of tan theta. So this is the relation between phi and this. Tan phi is half of tan theta. So you can from here see, you can check automatically. If it is an axial line, theta is 0 degree. If you put cos theta 0, cos 0 is 1, so 3 plus 1 is 4, so root under 4 is 2, so you have 2m. And if you put theta is 90 degree, cos 90 is 0, so you have m by r cube. So see, that means from this we can say this one is exactly valid. After that part, the next part is also we know, that is next part also we know very well. That part is in presence of uniform, very important, in presence of uniform magnetic field, if we introduce a magnetic dipole plus m minus m separated by distance 2l, angle is theta. So here you have f1, that is plus mb, here you have f2, that is minus mb. Let this point is a, let this point is b. D, this is 2l sine theta. So what basically happened, clearly from figure, what we can say, the f net, that is f1 plus f2, that is plus mb minus mb equals to 0. Same like electrostatics, here we write plus QE, here you write minus QE, but in this magnet we write plus mb and minus mb. So clearly from figure, f1 f net is 0, so no translational motion, only rotational motion. Why? Because they are not in the same line of action, so they create torque or couple. And we know that torque is equals to force into perpendicular distance. So what we can write, mb into 2l sine theta, that is m into 2l, b sine theta, that is mb sine theta. So torque is m cross b. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
So when you get this one torque, then you can find out the work done also. Work done to rotate the dipole, I think you all remember, torque d theta, theta 1 to theta 2. So when you when you able to find out work done, that is equals to mb sine theta d theta, theta 1 theta 2, that is mb sine theta d theta, theta 1, theta 2, that is mb minus cos theta, theta 1, theta 2, that is mb minus cos theta 2 plus cos theta 1. So mb cos theta 1 minus cos theta 2. Is it? You remember?
Yes, sir.
Okay. At the same time, then if theta is 0 degree, stable equilibrium, and theta is 180 degree, unstable equilibrium. So work done is mb cos 0 minus cos 180 degree. In that case, 1 plus 1, that is 2 mb. If the uh, bar magnet or magnetic dipole is rotated from unstable stable equilibrium to unstable equilibrium, the work done is this one. After that, one more important thing is related to the same topic. Actually, 5 marks question examiner asked in electrostatic, so it's a very important. Secondly, they can ask you, or they can say you torque, that is m cross b, work done m dot b, that is mb cos theta, potential energy, that is negative of work done minus mb cos theta is the potential energy. So now examiner can ask you define potential energy in terms of rotating the dipole. Define potential energy in terms of rotating the dipole. So very simple thing, define potential energy in terms of rotating the dipole. So very simple thing is that what we have to write here, if a magnetic dipole, if it is magnetostat, then you write magnetic dipole. If it is electrostat, then you write electric dipole. If we rotate a magnetic dipole from any angle, from 90 degree to any angle theta, the work done by the dipole is called potential energy. Why? Because the work done is mb cos 90 degree minus cos theta. So what you have, minus mb cos theta, and see, minus mb cos theta is the potential energy. So you understand, okay, this work done is the potential energy, this work done is the potential energy. So what we can say, the work done, so how they say you the question or ask you the question, define potential energy in terms of rotating the magnetic dipole or electric dipole. If they ask you for magnetic dipole, so you have to write in presence of uniform magnetic field, if we rotate a magnetic dipole, a magnetic moment from angle 90 degree to any angle theta, the work done by the dipole, is called potential energy, and then you mathematically show it. After that, one more question they ask, that what happened if we introduce a magnetic dipole or electric dipole in presence of non-uniform electric field or magnetic field. You remember the last electric and now it's a magnetic, rest is exactly same. So what happened in the last one, in presence of non-uniform electric field, if you introduce a magnetic dipole, what happened? Anyone tell me?
The transitional motion,
Transitional and
rotational motion, both.
rotation, transitional motion and rotational motion are তোর নামটাই আমি ভুলে যাই, তোর নামটা কি জানি?
স্বস্তিক ঘোষ।
হ্যাঁ, so in that case, what happened? Yes, exactly, very true. As the magnetic field is not uniform, so we write here B1 and B2, they are not equal, and as they are not equal, so we write 1 and 2. If they are equal, we can write B. So F net is F1 plus F2, F net is F1 plus F2, that is equals to plus MB1 minus B2 obviously not equals to 0, and as they are not equals to 0, so they also have a translational motion as well as a rotational motion. So this part is one part. Second part, which is very, very important, means less important in electrostatics but more important in magnetostatic. The next part is less important in electrostatic but more important in magnetostatic, because especially in entrance exam, so many questions they can ask from this part. And even this year, if you go through the medical NEET question paper, I realize if anyone attend my whole class 11 as well as class 12 class, I personally realize maybe the data change. Like suppose a pulley is there, you have two mass. I'm saying the mass is 5 kg and 10 kg. They are giving 4 kg and 6 kg. So in that basis, they change the data, but the type of question, if you go through, then you realize out of 45, you are able to solve 45 questions. And if you don't believe, then I can show you one day. That question is with me. Okay, chalo. So now the question is that if the angle is very, very small, very, very small, if the angle is very, very small, and if we release it, so what happened? This force and this force, suppose this one is the dipole, this force, and because of this force is acting this one, and this force is acting this one, it will try to move in this. So from here, it will be coming like this. Now, because of the inertia, it will be moving like this. And as because of the inertia, now it will be moving like this. Now the forces apply in this direction and this direction. So again, this coming back again due to inertia in this way. So basically, this one is moving like this one. So this motion is called simple harmonic motion. So examiner can say you find the time period of motion, time period of oscillation. And as you have so many, examiner has so many cards examiner has. During that, they can play that cards, means they can change the question on the basis of moment of inertia. They can change the question on the basis of mass. So many way they can give the question. So in terms of entrance exam, this part is more important than the electrostatic time period part. Okay, although they are same, but this one is much important in terms of entrance exam. So what happened? We know that torque is mb sine theta. As the angle is very small, we can write it mb theta. And whenever you have a torque, at the same time, there's a restoring torque is there. Restoring torque means which try to restore. When it is moving in this, it will be here. Now due to this one, it will be coming back. So this restoring torque is what? Moment of inertia into angular acceleration from mechanics. So we can write I in terms of angle d square theta by dt square. So basically what happened, this one is moving to and fro motion because of the torque is in equilibrium. So at equilibrium, torque plus restoring torque is equals to 0. So what we can say, mb theta plus I d square theta by dt square equals to 0, which means I d square theta by dt square is minus mb theta, which means d square theta by dt square equals to minus mb by I into theta. So d square theta by dt square equals to plus mb by I into theta equals to 0. So now if you see this, and if you compare with the simple harmonic motion, the equation is d square theta by dt square plus omega square theta is 0. So now if you compare with this, see, d square theta by dt square, d square theta by dt square, omega square theta. So this one is omega square theta. So this portion is omega square. So if you suppose this portion is omega square, See, rest is exactly same. This one is omega square. So omega is from this equation mb by I. So time period is 2 pi by omega. That is 2 pi root under I by mb. Same in electrostatic, I also show you time period is 2 pi root under I by P into E. But this one is more important because in P dipole, they are point charge. So their moment of inertia is simply mr square. And if you have 2 point, means the separation is 2L, then you have to write 2ml square because it is moving with respect to the center. And sometimes they give you that length is L. If they give you the length is L, so then it is 2 into m into L by 2 whole square. So that means overall ml square by 2. But here what happened? See, so many type of question you can arrange from this one. So that's why it's a very, very important in terms of entrance exam. See, so here that I is the moment of inertia. In general, if you have a bar magnet of length, if we suppose L, then and mass is m, so the moment of inertia ml square of a rod. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now sometime we use it here 2L, so you can write it 1 by 12 m into 2L square. So it depend on examiner what they given you. If they given you L or A, so then you write 1 by 12 m A square or L square. If they give you 2L or 3L or 4L, so you write 1 by 12 m into 2L or 3L or 4L whole square. So then you get the moment of inertia. Now see, so on that basis, this one is my time period. Now see how examiner change their question. Okay, because that's what I'm saying now. This one is more important than electrostatics. Why this one is more important than electrostatics, and how examiner change their question. So let's try. Let's see. Suppose you have a bar magnet. Okay. Whose magnetic moment is m, in presence of magnetic field B, they given in that way magnetic moment is m, in presence of uniform magnetic field B. If it is rotate with a very small angle theta, then the time period is t. And we know this t is 2 pi root under I by mb. I think no one you have any problem now related to, we can write t equals to 2 pi root under I by mb. Is it okay? Everyone, is it okay? We can write now. T is 2 pi root under I by mb.
Yes, sir.
M is given, I is, you know, I is the moment of inertia. Chalo, I is also the moment of inertia. M is the magnetic moment. So you can write T. T is the time period. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Everyone, is it okay? Okay. So if it is okay, now two question is there. Case 1, if you section it horizontally, how many part? N part. And in the second question, case 2, same magnet, you slice it vertically in n parts. Means it may be, why I'm using n, they say keep slice it in 5 parts. So n is 5, they say it slice it in 3 parts. So n is 3. So if you consider n, so you can use it that n for any number. So here it is slice it for horizontally, and here it slice it vertically. So question is that find time period for each part in terms of t. Options are: option A, it will be remain t; option B, it will be n times of t; option C, it will be t by n; option D, it will be t into n square; option E, it will be t by n square. So this 5 option is valid for question number A also, for question number B also, where t is the actual time period. You understand the question? Hello.
Yes, sir.
So now see in this one what happened. First of all, we can write time period is T1 because it's a new. So 2 pi root under I1 by M1 into B, because in presence of same magnetic field. Now if I see the moment of inertia, as you slice it horizontally, so 1 by 12, if we consider the length is L, so mass is sliced by n times. As you slice it n times, so mass is also sliced by n times, and length is as it is, and as the length is as it is, so what actually happened, it is 1 by n 1 by 12 ml square, that is I by n. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Similarly, magnetic moment is Im by n, directly we can write. So in that case, T1 is 2 pi root under I by n m by n into B, that is 2 pi I by mb. So that is equals to T. For question number 1, your answer is A is the right option. And now for question number 2, are you getting my point? Magnetic moment n times decrease, moment of inertia n times decrease, so they cancel out. Now if you slice it vertically, what happened, moment of inertia is 1 by 12, mass is n times decrease because total mass is m, and now you slice it in n parts, and length is also L by n to the power n square. So what happened, that is 1 by n cube 1 by 12 ml square. So basically I by n cube. So and moment of inertia m2, that is again m by n, we already show it to you. So time period now 2 pi root under I by n cube m by n into B, that is 1 by n into T. So the basic difference is, for if you slice it horizontally, time period does not affect, but if you slice it vertically, its time period n times decrease. So a very good question, great question they can give you, and they can ask you, and you are easily confused what happened. Generally what happened, then first of all you are confused horizontally what happened, and then vertically what happened. So you realize in horizontally it will remain same, but in vertically it will be n times decrease. This is the first type of question. One more type of question they can ask you from this time period of oscillation. The second one is that, suppose you have two magnetic dipole in the same direction. This one is M1, this one is M2, and you tie it with a string in presence of magnetic field. The angle is theta. This is one case. And the second case is that everything is same, but this one is in the opposite direction. This one is M1. Sorry, this one is right M1. This one is M2. M1 and M2. So they are same direction and they are opposite direction, tied with a string in presence of magnetic field B. So how their time period change? Here, the time period is root under moment of inertia, always additive nature, and magnetic moment is also same direction. So we can add them into magnetic field. This is the first one. And in this one, 2 pi, moment of inertia always additive nature, but magnetic moments here are in opposite direction. Na? So what we can write, the bigger one minus smaller one into B. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
These are very simple questions they can ask you, and don't think these are not in your syllabus. Absolutely they are in syllabus. You go through them in very detail in electrostatic, and in magnetostatic you can say these are not in syllabus, but according to NCERT they give all the formulas axial, what is the value in axial, what is the value in equatorial, what is the time period and everything. That means directly or indirectly you can say these all are in your syllabus. Means NCERT directly or indirectly say to you, compare them and find out the value. So whenever you compare them and find out the value, that means it is in your syllabus. Okay, so that is my first lecture from magnetism.